Bitcoin history is exactly repeating. What previously took us 4 years to complete now will only take us 1 year before we're about to see this major breakout out of this bull flag pattern. So that's exactly what we need to discuss in today's update video, but we will discuss a lot more than only that because we have a lot of important information to talk about within this new update video. We will take a deep dive in towards the most important Bitcoin charts and also in towards Ethereum and a little bit of altcoins. So from there, guys, make sure to first of all subscribe to the channel and watch and like my latest YouTube video, and then we can dive in towards the most important content. This Bitcoin is in the ending stage of a very similar setup just like we've seen from 2021 to 2024, before we saw this major bull flag breakout and we saw Bitcoin pump over $30,000 from the downside of that bull flag. And that's exactly something I think will happen once again. I do think from here Bitcoin could be making a move from $20,000 to $30,000 to the upside, because yes, this setup is looking quite similar, and I do think from here the final Bitcoin move is about to get initiated. So things are starting to look very bullish for Bitcoin. Currently we are in the right shoulder, also in this head and shoulders pattern, which is currently exactly playing out. The only thing we need to see now is breaking above this resistance box. If we do so, then I do think Bitcoin will shoot to new all-time highs quite soon here, and it would make a lot of sense if Bitcoin is going to do so, because that would mean that Bitcoin is going to exactly follow that global liquidity once again, because the global liquidity is making all-time high after all-time high, and usually Bitcoin tends to follow. So that is looking extremely bullish here, and seems like things are starting to line up for Bitcoin and a new major move is getting super close here. Because yeah, structure-wise, it's looking so similar to this 2024 consolidation, where we see the previous move higher, then a big move lower, a new move up, a little bit of consolidation below the previous all-time high. That's exactly what we're also seeing now in 2025 here. And I do think, yes, Bitcoin could consolidate a little bit longer under this previous all-time high, but ultimately you are going to see the breakout above that previous high, and then it will be a massive breakout to the top side. And actually Bitcoin is currently already hinting that it wants to break through that previous all-time high level here. So it's starting to look very bullish, and we definitely do need to pay a lot of attention here, because once we break exactly this level, yes, then that next big Bitcoin move is about to get initiated. And that next Bitcoin move will basically get initiated from the perfect setup, just like we've seen a few times before during this bull market, where on the downside of the consolidation phase, we see that ultimate liquidity grab, then a new move higher, and then that big move up after a little bit of consolidation. So exactly that is happening once again for Bitcoin. So yeah, guys, things are starting to look very bullish for Bitcoin here. Also because we are in July now, and July is usually one of the most bullish months for Bitcoin, definitely in a post-halving year. And a lot of people are still expecting a slow summer, but I'm not. I do think in July and August we could already be seeing some insane Bitcoin gains, because if you just take a look into those previous post-halving years, so for example 2021 and also 2017, you can see some exceptional returns in those months. So yeah, why would it be any different this time? I do think there's a high likelihood of history going to be exactly repeating there. Then I do think that next move is about to get initiated once a little bit of retail investor interest is going to return, just like we saw in the last move higher for Bitcoin. Now retail is basically capitulating still. We could capitulate a little bit lower here, but ultimately yes, this is a very important chart. Bitcoin also just closed the quarterly candle, and the quarterly candle is telling us everything we need to know about that Bitcoin double top scenario, which I've discussed in a lot of previous videos before on this channel. So just make sure to check those videos out if you're getting interested in the double top scenario. What's basically the case is this quarterly candle is totally different than what we've seen during that 2021 topping stage. So ultimately I do think this is completely invalidated, and we shouldn't be scared about a double top scenario like we've seen in 2021 playing out for 2025 here. And guys, if you want to be trading Bitcoin and altcoins yourself, make sure you do it on Blovin here. I've linked this platform below under my latest YouTube videos. Make sure to check Blovin out if you are getting interested in trading Bitcoin and altcoins yourself. And from there, I do want to discuss Ethereum. because Ethereum is looking quite interesting. First of all, I want to discuss the Bitcoin versus E chart, which is currently showing us that we are at a super important level. And I do think once Bitcoin versus ETH basically breaks through this level to the downside, that's where we will probably see the most exponential move for Ethereum this cycle, because this is a super important resistance level for Ethereum and support level for Bitcoin basically, which shows that from this exact level you or see a major rejection or a new move to the top side. So it's going to be once again we are going to see something like that, but I do think once we could break that level, yes, from there we are going to see a new major move for Ethereum against Bitcoin. So this is going to be a super important chart to watch. And on the flip side, Ethereum versus Bitcoin is exactly bouncing from those 2019-2020 lows, and that is ultimately still super bullish, and I do think this move is going to continue much higher. It's exactly happening. It's happening at the perfect moment basically. So yeah, I'm still quite bullish on Ethereum here. And if you would ask me what my price targets are for this bull market, I do have a conservative case and also a bull case. My conservative case is basically the range high within this reaccumulation zone. It's highly likely that we are going to hit that conservative case this bull market in the last phase of the year. Because yeah, like discussed a lot on this channel, we are now in the post-halving year and also in the second half of the year, which is usually the most bullish periods for Ethereum and altcoins. So that conservative case is definitely going to be a highly likely target, and I've been accumulating on the way down, the ultimate low, the range low. So this conservative case is going to be a major price target for me. If you're a little bit more bullish, you can also be looking at this bull case, which is laying over $6,000. Yeah, I do think this is highly possible, but yeah, since I've been accumulating a lot of Ethereum also on this extreme lows, I do know how bad that price action can actually be. I do like it to be a little bit more conservative there. Ethereum is basically trading back in this major accumulation range. We saw a massive fake out here at the downside for Ethereum and then a new move higher. And actually now we are back in that accumulation phase. And I do think it's highly likely that Ethereum could be breaking that accumulation phase in the near future, this range basically. And once we do so, I'm expecting a move to $3,000. So this is going to be a level I will be watching, basically the range high. We saw basically a fake out to the top side and here a fake out to the downside. So quite interesting here. I do think from here a new move higher is going to be highly likely, because Ethereum did already grab the liquidity at the downside. We did already grab the liquidity at the range low, and earlier even under the range low here, breaking out of the reaccumulation zone basically. But now we grab the liquidity on the range low, and do think from here a new major move higher is probably going to occur. And in the end, yes, altcoins will have to follow here, because we can see the global liquidity with the Bitcoin correlation, of course. I do think, yes, Bitcoin is about to initiate that final move now, that new move higher. And in the end, altcoins are also highly correlated with the global liquidity and will probably follow also to the top side, but it will take a little bit longer. First the global liquidity moves, then Bitcoin, and then altcoins, of course. So that's basically how simple it is here. And I do think that will happen in this final stage of the cycle still. I'm still very bullish on altcoins there. Also because the on-chain metrics for Ethereum, for example, the ecosystem where I'm personally most bullish on, are still looking absolutely insane. And for example, today we can see that the stablecoin supply in Ethereum hits a new all-time high. So it's still looking, and I do think we will see a major altcoin season at the ending stage of the cycle, which could basically be starting any moment now. And guys, that was it for today's update video. I hope you guys enjoyed this update video, and I will see you guys within the next update video tomorrow.